Don't be God, oh my God. Hello, and welcome to Val, Voices of Wisdom, the show that might not be for everybody, but everybody needs to watch this show. I want to say thank you to LTV. They've been so great. I think this might be my maybe close to third year, going on my third year. And the staff here is phenomenal. And I thank you, first of all, before I even start. And this is the holiday season. And generally, holiday seasons is with family. So the name of this show is called We Are Family. And I am so excited that I have my family on the show today. And we have Nylasia, my granddaughter, and Takaya, my daughter, who's visiting from Maryland. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, guys, family. Did we have a ball last night, though, hanging out?
Yes.
I mean, but we've been eating a lot, haven't we?
Yes.
I mean, the food and the desserts. The key lime pie and the banana pudding
Lasagna.
and the lasagna.
Yes.
I mean, what else did we have? I mean, we've been eating so much. The cookies,
Ham.
apple pie
pie.
and ice cream,
Eggnog.
the eggnog. Oh my God! So Nylasia, this is your last year in
High
school.
Yep.
Wow! I remember as a baby. So how does it feel being your last year of school?
It's stressful, but I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm just ready to go into the field of fashion design and start college and all that stuff.
So you've gone to FIT, how many, 3 years in a row now?
3 years in a row.
Just tell us a little bit about that weekend program Mommy enrolled you in.
So I go to the pre-college courses at FIT in New York City on usually Saturdays or Sundays. They're about 3 hours, and they pretty much just immerse you in like all of the techniques and the fields that you need to be in. They have teachers that are actually teachers in FIT, and they teach you everything you need to know. I think I've done, the first class was at the beginning to drawing, the second was advanced drawing, and the third was draping, and the fourth was sewing, and then I just finished my portfolio class.
How exciting is that?
It's exciting.
And that's been some like hands-on.
Yeah. Some serious experience.
And FIT is, I mean, it's a well-known college. Everybody and
Yeah.
mother try to get in that. And it's a college that I think even Michael Kors went to that college.
Yep.
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yep.
So it's been exciting. And
Yeah.
I think you already got accepted to one college already?
Yep. Savannah College of Art and Design.
Wow. So this is so exciting.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to feel leaving home? Or
It's going to be a big adjustment, not seeing my family every day, but I think I'll be able to
you handle it?
handle it.
So, and you haven't seen Auntie. We haven't seen Auntie since what?
Last summer.
Sweet
Last
16.
summer to Sweet 16.
Yes.
So, how's it feel being home, Auntie?
Exciting. It's great. It's good to be home always to see my family.
And you were born and raised here in Southampton?
Born and raised in Southampton. Yep. 30 years spent in Southampton. So it's great always to come home and see people.
And then you moved away?
Yes. Now I live in Maryland. I live in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and been in Gaithersburg for 3 years, but been in Maryland for 6 years. So, and it's great. It's one of the best things I did. But, you know, it's an adjustment at first, but now I'm considered a Marylander.
Marylander. You got your official Maryland license now, right? Wow.
I am. It's been 6 years, so I have that stamp. But it's been great.
So what are you doing there now?
Well, now I just got a promotion to operations coordinator of a family service agency. It's actually agency that helps underprivileged families, low-income families. It's a large campus, so we do a lot at FSI, medical, outpatient, mental health. We do youth intervention for drug and alcohol. We have off-sites for mental health that are, you know, functioning levels, and we do a lot. But what I worked in as far as my program before I became operations coordinator, I was a parent educator and home visitor for 5 years. And what I did was I go into homes, and I actually would be on the floor with the children, 0 to 3-year-olds, and teach them child development skills and actually get them school ready, and work with the parents. They needed also help with life skills, whether it's getting their license or getting a job, but it was hands-on, case management as well, but mostly child development is what we focus on. Delays, whether it's autism or ADHD or any developmental skills or developmental issues that we saw at that age, we caught by doing screenings. And I loved it. I love it. From time to time I go see them, upstairs in the Child Development Center when they're there. So I love what I do.
So what is it like living in Maryland opposed to living in Southampton? Is it the same? Is it different?
Well, where I lived at for the first 4 years was Olney, Maryland, and it was pretty much like Southampton.
Okay.
So it kind of reminded me of home, the small community, and you bumped into the same people you saw. So it was kind of nice. Where I live now is more city, more broad. But it's nice. I like it because it's, a lot of culture. I'm 30 minutes from Washington, D.C., so you can take the metro in or drive up the road and see the different museums. So I kind of get spoiled in that sense. I do miss the ocean. I miss the water.
Oh, wow.
We're not near water. Ocean City is, not too far, but it's nothing like the beaches in the Hamptons.
So, just in case anybody is thinking, you're having a baby.
Yes, I am.
So this is my first granddaughter, but I'm having a grandson.
Yes, he's here sleeping somewhere.
He doesn't know he's even on camera.
He has no idea.
So how does that feel? Is that exciting?
It is very exciting.
Being a mommy?
Yes, it is. I mean, being on the other side of teaching parents how to parent, and now me being on the other side of this and remembering what I taught, but also, everybody's not perfect, so you're going to make mistakes, and embracing that, knowing that I'm going to definitely fall short at some point, but taking what I've already learned and putting it into action is very exciting. And me and my fiance are just, every day is something new. It's something new. We learn from each other, but we learn, and just pray that we're going to be great parents.
Now, Nalasia, you just had a
health project.
A health project. Tell us a little about your health project in connection with Auntie having this baby.
Well, we were given a 4-pound bag of sugar, and we had to put a diaper on it and pretty much carry it around for 2 weeks, make sure that we didn't drop it or have any abrasions in the sugar bag. And in the end, we had to check out the weight to make sure that it was as close to 4 pounds as possible. And there were some people that, the sugar was just all over the floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what was the point? What are they trying to teach you, and what did you get out of it?
I think they're mainly trying to teach you that when you have a child, there's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice. Like, I know with me, I have a backpack, and then I had a bunch of bags in my arms, and still trying to carry the sugar baby and not drop it, and being in the car with it and making sure that it was always, on my person and not, dropped or on the floor, just rolled around, because you can't do that with a baby.
No,
so.
I don't think so.
That would be a good thing.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. That was the other thing. My health teacher was pretty much surveying the hallways, and if you didn't have your baby, you got points off.
Wow.
So it was a good project.
So I think probably what they're also teaching especially young people in school, about the responsibility, and how maybe connected with that about how can we say
being safer,
having safer relationships. I'll say that. Or we could just say safe sex.
There you go.
We say that on TV, right?
Yes.
So do they talk about that as well in school?
Yeah, my teacher is very open about that. She lets everyone know, you may think you're having fun, but it ends up paying a price in the end, so you need to be careful. So, yeah.
So, is this something that was always taught in school, you think, or is it more so now because feel like they need to do that because they have kids that are not having safe sex?
Yeah. I think that's something that was done in school. Did you say that you did something similar?
It was something similar it wasn't the 4-pound bag of sugar, but it was, I believe it was an egg. Yeah. It was an egg. We did that. But I don't think it's so prominent because a lot of schools have picked up across the country. Yeah. And they have the battery operated.
Yeah, I'm getting that one in January.
And I think that's awesome. definitely needed.
A lot of work,
It's
but
definitely,
yeah.
it's a lot of work, but it's a good experience.
Yeah, I think
good
the high rate of teen moms lately has brought a little more awareness into the health classes, so I think it's a little more popular now than back in the day.
There's something else I want to talk about is raising children. Now, I've had the awesome pleasure and challenge. And first, we got to give a shout out. Where's my camera? We got to give a shout out to Tiana. Hey, Sissy. And that's Nalesia's mom. Unfortunately, she had to work today. I had the pleasure and the challenge of raising two children. And what do you think are some of the you can home in this too. You don't have children yet, but what do you think is some of the most important things to teach a child?
Well, just coming back from what you taught us, growing up is family. Like, I mean, the name of the show, the importance of family. But most of all, just the imperfections, being just straight up with each other. You were very straight up with us, and really raising up, like it says, raise up a child in the way they should go. And when they get old, they won't depart. You raise us up, and, things weren't always perfect, but you did an awesome job, and you raised us up in church. We knew about God, and we knew about prayer, and as much as we, ran amok. I plead the fifth on a lot. Think about it. No, it's around, we went we strayed away and did whatever, but we still were grounded, and people knew, even in the neighborhood, Brenda Simmons didn't play, cause, no, and it was a good thing because, as much as you think you know everything as a child growing up, when you get older, and you start to have your own family, you appreciate the things that were taught to you, and you can instill into your family and your kids. And you never know when it comes up. You look at yourself as like, oh my God, I sound like my mom, and it's not bad. So
I think one of the main things that I really instilled that I can remember is respect.
yes.
And Nalesa, you want to comment on this a little bit? What do
Yeah.
you think are some of the things that is important that you've learned, that Mommy learned, that probably passed on from me to you, and other things? I think Mommy did an awesome job. She's done an
Yes.
awesome, yay, Mommy! She's done an awesome job with you. A lot of sacrifices. So tell me some of the things you think that, is important that you've gotten from, Mommy raising you.
I think the two main things are love and discipline. There's definitely a big line in between them, a very fine line, but I think when they're used in like equal proportions, that's what really helps a child grow into like a respectable, child.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love
And discipline.
and discipline.
Yep.
Wow. And how is it as you're 17, some of the things that was challenging to you that you probably didn't understand, and you probably can talk about this too, some of the things, because I was kind of a stern mom. Disciplined mom. And there were times where it was hard for me. And you'll probably end up finding this out, and why I'm getting ready to cry already. This is so crazy.
Aww.
That there were hard times when you had to say and do things that was hard to do. You had to say no to certain things, and, you couldn't go someplace. Because I remember so many times, well, so-and-so's going, and now I have to say no. So, I mean, you've dealt with that too, sometime where, the punishment as they come, So how was that during the time, and how do you look about it now when you reflect on it? How does that look to you? At the beginning, you're going through it, but now looking back as being older and adults.
Oh, I hated it. I
hated it.
I mean,
Just
it
really
was
straight up.
Oh my God, my friends would say sometimes, "Well, ask your mom. Ask your mom." Oh yeah, she's gonna say no. So I mean, at that time, of course, as a teenager and young, you don't like it. You want to go everywhere, but being older and seeing, some of the youth now, even where I live, I'm glad that you had those boundaries. You taught me boundaries, and that's what even, in my profession of what I did, you have to teach a parent to teach their child boundaries. Because if that boundary is not there, their influence, if they don't stand for something, you stand for anything, and that is dangerous, especially with gang violence. It's still prevalent, and it's not as prevalent in some of the suburban communities, but they have their little cliques, and you can get influenced by music, anything, if you don't have a strong boundary and a head on your shoulder, you know. So, yeah, you're going to go through it when you're young and be mad and stomp to your room and slam your door.
Yes, I'll break doors.
I plead the fifth. But anyway, but when you get older, you do appreciate the boundaries, because it could have been bad. It could have been really bad, you know. So, yeah, I agree. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I feel very similar. I mean, I'm a little younger, so it still happens. But, but you know, in the moment, you're
Doesn't feel
upset.
good.
No.
Exactly.
But, I mean, even looking back on things now, you know, comparing myself to some of my friends, you know, I've seen where discipline can get you, and I think it paid off. It was
You
all
know,
worth
it's
it.
interesting. They have, I'm not going to bash anybody's family issues or teaching skills, but it just seemed to be different when when people don't, don't have boundaries. And I think the thing that I look at is when you have that foundation, it's not just about a mother and a child being taught, it's what's going to happen in the future. If you have respect for your mom or your dad and your siblings, then you'll learn how to have respect for officials and teachers and your bosses, and et cetera, like that. So that's kind of really what it comes down to, is really preparing yourself. It's that foundation that has to be formed, so you have something to lean on and to know when you go out.
Right.
Because, I mean, the respect thing is something to me that was so key to me. I grew up, yeah, y'all know how old I am, I think. Y'all have watched the show, you'll know how old I am. But anyway, it was even different then. I think each generation gets a little looser. But even back in my day, that we couldn't even stay in the same room a lot of times in conversations with adults, you know. And that had its, you know, they had their reasons for that. And sometimes now, talking about reflecting back, I understand. Because some of the conversations weren't children's conversations, you know. But then the communication wasn't as well. I think, talk about that, about how important is communication, you know, when it comes to parenting.
Well, that's one thing that we taught, you know, in our agency, we teach rather, is communication is important. You know, you can tell your child to be quiet, it's better seen, not heard, you know, the old school, you know, and I do agree too what you just said about there's certain conversations that a child should not be involved with. And it doesn't have to be any swearing or any, you know, violent nature of conversation. It's just not appropriate for a child. So yes, they have their place, but you know, what we teach too, and what I believe is, you know, a child still has their opinion, still has to be a part of the family and feel wanted and feel accepted and feel like they have a right to speak their piece and not be squished. You know, their personality, their emotions, whatever. They need to be validated, because a lot of children that are not validated at a young age tend to get that validation from other sources.
Right.
And it's not always a positive source. So it's important to include your child in a conversation, even if it's not the conversation that you want them at the dinner table. That's why we promote eating dinner together. That's the time to really focus and give them a chance. You know, maybe it may not be that time with your girlfriend or your homeboy or whatever, you know, during halftime of the game. No, you know, go in your room and play with your friends, but maybe during dinner time or another time, it's good to have them to be a part of a conversation. But communication is important. It really is very important.
And what do you feel about that, Nalasia, when it comes to communicating?
I think it's good for both parties to communicate how they feel, because, you know, if the parent doesn't understand what the child's feeling, then, I mean, you can't really discipline them. I mean, you can, but you need to understand, you know, where they're coming from. And the parent, you know, you can't just, like, scream at the child and not understand that maybe they're feeling a certain way about something. So I think it's just communication you need to understand from both sides.
And, you know, I think the challenge with communication, too, is, you know, both parties sometimes could shut down.
Yep.
And then you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times we get to a point we're assuming. We're trying to figure out what's going on. And then we're maybe not assuming. So being open to having that communication is key. But it's so funny because I remember having that. That's how it was in our family when I was raising you and Tiana. was to have that communication. But it was times where it's like you didn't want to hear. Sometimes you didn't want to hear it, or either way, you didn't even want to hear what I had to say, and I didn't want to hear what you said. But you had to have that open communication. Sometimes you just didn't agree.
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, that whole, you know, well, I'm the mother thing, and that kind of was like, you know, you had to find the balance with that as well, you know. But I think we all kind of turned out okay.
Yeah, because I don't even think that stops, you know. You're not always going to agree, even when you're an adult. You're
That's
talking
true.
to your adult mom,
That's true.
you know.
That's true.
But you have to agree to disagree, and know that it's coming with the best intentions, you know, and with love and with caring, and you're gonna have to do this one day.
Exactly.
So watch out what you say about it. But yeah, I don't think that it just stops at a certain age. I think it continues even through adulthood, you know. So.
And it's a time where I think mommy's going through this now, where this transition of you becoming an adult, no longer little Nylasia. So even that transition as a mom is difficult too. And I don't know if you really understand. Mommy's probably even shared that with you, or maybe she hasn't. So she's kind of hinted around to me a little bit.
It's just, I think it's the idea of letting go a little bit that, you know, scares her. I mean, it is. It's a hard transition. It's from being a little girl to going to college, living on her own. It's...
And, you know, I think as a mom, here comes the tears again. As a mom, I think you want to think, did you teach them everything that you're supposed to teach them? Did you do a good job? Did you leave anything out? Did you say something wrong? You know, you kind of go through all those reflecting times where you're trying to figure out. But then that's where prayer comes in. Yeah. And, you know, you let go and you just trust that, you know, you've done your best. Yeah. And you just pray them through. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it all comes down to it, you know. Yep. So you're due
February 17th.
And it's a boy.
Yes.
And we don't have many boys in our family, so this is so exciting. Yes. Very, very, very exciting.
It really is. Yep. I'm actually 33 weeks on this past Monday. I just turned 8 months. So it's exciting, and it's...
So how does it feel not being the only grandchild anymore?
I think the age I am now, you know, it's just exciting.
It's good now, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if it would have happened when I was younger, it might have been a little...
Yeah, you did not want me to have kids.
Because I think I remember you saying that to me.
You did not want me to have kids.
No.
No, you can't have any kids. It's my G-Ma. So it's great that you're old enough now.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
And I was trying to figure out if I'm going to still be G-Ma.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
I changed the name.
Gigi, G-Ma.
Gigi. I like Gigi. It's
cute. Somebody said, "Oh, how about Margie?" And I'm like, "No, that sounds too much like another name."
No.
I just should have thrown that in there.
No, G-Ma or Gigi will be great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought to throw that and make you laugh.
Oh my God.
Inside joke.
Yes. Anyway.
So I am excited about the show, and I'm going to read. First of all, let me ask you this joke. Talking about babies. Okay. What does a baby computer call his father? Dun, 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 dun,
a baby computer call.
What does a baby computer call his father?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Data.
Oh. Wow. Data.
That's good.
Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute?
That's cute.
That's right. We just had a baby shower for you.
Yay.
And that was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We had a blast.
The games were the best
part. Surprise birthday. Actually, it was my birthday.
Oh, that's right. It was your
week.
birthday 2 days before that.
But also a surprise baby shower. It was great. You guys came and
it was
surprised
fun.
me.
But how you really kept... I'm going to blow up your spot.
It's okay.
You was trying to text us to try to find that we were there.
I did.
We was just trying to... We tricked you.
I was at my class.
He was in New York.
Even... My precious niece. Hello.
They talked to me
Don't lie to Auntie.
They talked to me too.
I know, it's okay. But yeah, I was definitely... I was bugging Heath to death. Heath, my fiance, he did a good job because he knows I'm nosy.
Tried.
And he knows I analyze everything. So what happened? You know, what's going on? Calling, texting, and nobody was returning my calls or texts. So that was really nerve-wracking. But it was just
fun in the end.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. And I loved the games and
The diaper games.
oh my
Oh, yeah,
goodness.
the diaper game was fun.
Of course the
Those are
food.
fun. The food was
But
good.
no, it was just great to see people and the kind words that everybody had, the tear-jerking moment, you know, at the end. I embraced everything, every word, you know, every word of wisdom. So it was a great experience. So thank you.
And while I was there, I wrote this poem.
Oh,
And we have like a minute and a half left. And I'm going to read this poem before we end the show. Okay. It's called A Mother's Love. From conception to birth, from teething to teaching, from diapers to designer jeans, from boo-boos to broken limbs and the first broken heart. Through the good times and some bad, through ups and a few downs. The years of knowing who they are, whose they are, and who they are not. Sacrifices and sharing, embracing and erasing, leaving the past behind. They move out and start a family of their own. But one thing's for sure, a mother's love is forever, even when she's not there. So, no more tear jerking, because I'm getting ready to cry too. But this has been a special, special show. I was glad that I was able to have you on, and I'm glad for
I was
LTV
happy to be here.
and Seth for having this
excited.
special show for us on this
Yes.
special holiday.
Thank you guys.
I love you. Stop crying. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
All is well.
Yes.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.
We are family.